Check out nothing.
Let's go. Oh shit, this nigga had the music ready.
Yeah. Let's get it.
Hey, boys, not alive.
Just the Road Podcast.
Fuck with us, get a bag. Fuck with us, get a bag. What did he say?
Bitch, don't block your blessings. Bitch, don't block your blessings.
Oh shit.
It's one of them good. It's one of them boys.
Don't need captions. Stay dash. Next break dance.
Look at this bitch.
Oh shit.
Right back like we left something. You know, I'm ready to get active.
That sounds like a Joe Budden intro there, buddy.
Oh my god.
Oh shit. Never gonna separate ourselves from the pack.
I'm on my jaw, man. I'm ready. I'm ready to get active.
What's cracking, dog?
Hey, shit, you know. Feeling good today, you know. Big things in the works, big things coming. You know, niggas is finally opening up, letting the old go so the new can come in. You know what I mean? My therapist and my spiritual advisor was real big on that. They like, sometimes you gotta let go of that old shit, no matter how comfortable it is, and no matter how much it, you know, that old energy is holding you back from all that new shit coming in, blocking your blessings, man. So I wanted to do a pod about it. I feel like it's something that a lot of people never get over. They never even realize it in their life, and just to come to the realization of it and then being able to really deal with it head on. Because what you used to is, you know what I mean? You're not used to what you ain't seen before, no matter how open of a person you are, or no matter where you done been in the world. You know, we some well-traveled guys. We'd have been all over the place. And even, you know, I can say for myself, even I've been guilty of blocking my blessings in the past, and you know what I mean, in the present. So it's like, I felt like it was something we definitely needed to touch on the pod, for sure. So, you know.
Blocking blessings, huh?
Yeah.
For the listeners that are a little more, low based, what he's saying is that, you know, you can block the blessings in any way. And today we're going to talk about those blessings being blocked.
Yeah, a couple examples. You know, I'm gonna give a couple examples of shit I've done, and you know, what's crazy, and even with blocking blessings, shit like a boomerang. Everything's karma. Everything you put out come back, and it's crazy because I just put on the joint. You know, I'm infamous R. Kelly boy, not R. Kelly with the young girls, but R. Kelly with the pissing. With the pissing.
Whoa. Whoa.
Not on biters, on grown women.
Whoa.
But, yeah, you know, I got Blue, this nigga done pissed on me quite a few times. And it was like, at first I was getting pissed, but then I really had to think about that shit.
Wait. Who, what?
My puppy. My puppy.
You talking about Blue.
I said Blue, nigga, my puppy, nigga.
Okay, nigga, definitely. Be clear. You just talking about you been getting pissed on a couple times. What the fuck is going on?
Got me a couple times, and at first I was getting like super pissed about it, but I had to think about it. Like, yo, you really like, it's, you know, karma. It should come back around. So I'm like, yo, I just gotta deal with it. You know what I mean? Like, not to say that I'm. Go ahead.
Or it could be it's a fucking baby dog that has to be trained. So
that's what I mean. I get it. I get that part, but I'm just saying, like, at the same time, it's like, God damn, like, why is this motherfucker pissing on me? But it's like, nigga, you done pissed on plenty women in your day. You need to just relax and accept your karma and just keep it moving, learn from the shit and keep pushing. So shout out to Blue. He really came because he's teaching me a whole bunch of shit. And the fact that I got a whole husky for free is a flex. So
all right,
I got
Jay
a whole
Kelly.
Dog with no money.
All right, Jay Kelly.
Anyway. But real shit, blocking your blessings, man, it's a real thing, man. I feel like people want things so bad or want to hold on to things so bad that they don't understand that it's something greater for them on the other side of letting go. And like I've dealt with women that I felt like probably tried to hold on to me, no matter how much of a shitty person I've been, in the sense that it was something about me that they felt like they didn't let go. And maybe it's abandonment issues and things like that. And even with blocking your blessings, I also feel like letting go, you never know if it is for you. I feel like with the great poet DMX say, if it's for you, let it go. It'll come back to you if it's supposed to. If it don't, then, and I feel like when it comes back, it's gonna come back better.
Hmm.
So that's with anything. I feel like for years, I feel like my biggest blessing blocking was chasing money. I feel like as a person who got rich young, once my empire fell, I feel like I couldn't understand like how I couldn't get back to that space, but it was because it fell for a specific reason that I couldn't get at the time. But it fell for me to realize that it was going to be something greater if I started following this particular path. And it took me 10 years to finally get that shit. Like it took a minute. Like I really was running through the wilderness blocking my blessings for 10 years. You know how I've been doing it with the rat shit and all that stuff. And you know how my road was with that. Shit was hell. I made some money here or there, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't like the money I was making when I was doing tags. It was just a different ball game. I saw
Hmm.
all the signs of shit fucking with certain artists. I understood that people wasn't really fucking with me, but it was just, I felt like I had control of it. So it's like, with that being said, I'm just gonna keep walking this path. And for years and years and years, I blocked blessings, like things that were great for me, things that could have really helped me propel myself in my life. And
Was being
things got,
blocked because of how you was living.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Definitely how I was living, how I was viewing things, and how I thought I was in control of everything. I think that's the biggest thing that keeps us blocking our blessings. That we feel like we have control to a certain extent, but we don't really know the road that the universe really is. And we'll say the universe for the sake of the pie. I don't know what anybody's denomination is, and I don't want to say anybody's wrong for how you pray, whether you pray to God, Buddha, Allah, whatever it is that you pray to. We just call it the universe for now. But like the universe definitely has more of a divine plan for all of us. That's how I view it and I see it. And I feel like I ignored it for the longest time. Really didn't look at God like it was a thing, or the universe like it was a thing. I felt like we just here. You know what I mean? We just born. It's a big bang, and we all just born. Nothing else besides that. And I feel like that's a big part of blocking your blessings too. So that's just my quick take on it. I want to get into it, see what you feel about it.
And you got to also understand too that blessings come in so many different forms and
Absolutely.
fashions and
Absolutely.
and all types of shit. So
It's bigger than
once
money.
you identify those things, or once you know when you get one, you know what to do with it, how to handle it, you'll get more. Like my daughter was a blessing.
That's what I was gonna say. Like I feel like what is one of the biggest blessings you felt like you got? And I was thinking about Mari. That was my first thought, was her.
Abs,
I feel like
abs,
that's a
abs,
huge blessing for you.
fucking lutely. That was, and not only that, you know what I'm saying? Depending on how you live your lifestyle, and at the time, my lifestyle was very, very. I'm running wild. I'm outside. So
Outside.
once I stopped running wild and was outside, that blessing came to me. And some people at my age would say that's not a blessing, but to me, that was a big blessing. And I was blocking it
Absolutely.
because I was running around.
And the crazy part is when you think
Fucking
about
on the
how she,
baddest bitches on the planet Earth, but still
but
at the end of the day, running around. No,
but think about how she
okay.
even came though. You know what I mean? Like it's not like really indicative of what your lifestyle was at the time. You know what I mean?
During COVID, but well, COVID.
Yeah,
So even COVID, man, this shit could get deep.
it could.
E-
It could. That's
even
why we speaking on it. That's why we
even
speaking on it.
even COVID, for a lot of people, I mean, overall, COVID was a crazy thing. I definitely lost a lot of family members, some
Mhm.
friends to that shit, and it affected a whole bunch of shit. But for me personally, COVID was one of the craziest blessings to me because it gave me a lot of time to sit down, chill, think about shit, get a real plan together, life plan, business plan, family plan.
Yeah.
It gave me time to do all that. So, once
And
again,
hey, it's COVID when I came back to the road. That's when I
yeah,
came back to the once
yeah,
COVID hit.
yeah,
Absolutely.
and the crazy part is that even with all of that happening, I still, you know what I'm saying, did what I had to do during that time because I had time to chill
Yeah.
and let shit flow and not block what was supposed to come to me. Now, if it
Yeah.
wouldn't have been for COVID, nobody would have been sitting down. We all would have been still doing what we do, and we still could have been doing what we do during COVID.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I chose, to sit my eyes down for a minute and see what was cracking. And one of those blessings, I don't know what that blessing. Would you call? Would that be a
Go ahead.
pride thing? Would you call that a pride thing?
What? What I call what a process?
Just me moving to New York and having to deal with a situation that I wasn't used to as far as how I was living in Vegas.
But I mean, like you saying what I call it a pride thing, as far as like you saying you doing it or you like second guessing it
Well,
and
me
thinking
doing
about
it,
it like
period. Well, let me explain. So,
go
for
ahead.
me,
Yeah.
when I moved to New York, I wasn't used to walking and
The worst place on fucking earth, but go ahead.
yeah, I wasn't used to walking and going to do shit and just
Yeah.
certain things that I wasn't used to. And not even, I wouldn't say used to, it was just shit I would have never done because I was too cool. Yeah, what? Y'all walking to the grocery store? Let's just get in the car and ride. Nigga, it's 1 minute away. Why are we driving? You see what I'm saying?
That definitely was your ego testing you. But I feel like that's the biggest part in us blocking our blessings is our ego. Like I read this book called A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. You ever heard of that boy? Eckhart Tolle. He wrote a couple books, but this one, A New Earth, it talks about how we are consciousness and not an ego, but we're taught from young children, like my toy, my this, my that, I. That's the ego speaking, which is not really us as a conscious state. It's just us in the 3D that we're taught. So it's definitely your ego and your pride that had you feeling like it in the beginning, like it directly correlates. But it once that falls down and you really start to move around in your conscious state,
The
then
blessings
blessings start
started
flowing
coming.
through. They
And
start flowing through.
back to what I was saying, once I, got past that and got over my ego and was like, that shit is right up the street. Who gives a fuck if I'm walking, carrying some bags? Nigga, I'm still me at the end of the day.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And what started happening is on these walks, I would meet, even to this day, I've met some of the most influential people in the last 5 years just from these walks and these buildings and going into these barbershops and these businesses that was in those places really changed, a nigga thought process and put some different perspective on shit. That's just one part of me blocking my blessings was my pride. So I said that to say that pride is one of the biggest things that'll block your blessings.
Absolutely, because you feel like you're bigger and you're in control. Like your pride and ego it gives you the sense that you have control that you really don't have. Because once you start letting things flow and you start moving through like life and nature the way that you're supposed to, then the people that you start to meet, because like we everyday people at a baseline, like all of us are everyday people.
Yeah.
So like you could really be sitting down in like a coffee shop with a motherfucker who own a Fortune 500 company just because you took the time to slow pace it rather than being on this kind of fast pace. I
Nigga,
gotta get it. I gotta get it. I gotta get it type of attitude and mentality.
I was at a diner with a dude just chopping it up at the diner eating. We had like the bar top. Nigga, this nigga owned the whole fucking block. I get out the store, start walking. This motherfucker get out the store and start walking. He like, yeah, where you headed? I'm like, man, I don't even know the directions. I just know where the house at. Oh yeah, well I live right up the street. I'm like, wait, you live over here? Yeah. This is my neighborhood. I'm never leaving.
Like literally my neighborhood. It's like literally my neighborhood.
Yeah, I'm like, wait a minute. Didn't you just tell me you own like 10 stores over here? Yeah. I'm like, oh shit.
Like literally, this is my neighborhood. Like when we say this is my neighborhood, we saying this where we from. When he's saying this is my neighborhood, like I own this bitch and everything around here.
And really, and not even bullshitting. Later on, probably a couple days later, I googled this motherfucker. I think his net worth was like $250. He owns like all the Spanish supermarkets and some wild shit, but that shit was crazy. And still my contacts to this day, still checks on me, still checks on the baby. You know, nothing crazy. Just, hey, how the family doing? You know, and I told him my story about how I was in New York and I was a little uncomfortable and blah, blah. And he said, hey, man, remember why you out here. You out here for your baby. I said, you goddamn right. Of course. Hell yeah. Let me go get these fucking groceries. Even though back then niggas was still wearing masks and fucking bottles over their head and fucking gas mask and all kind of shit. Cause this was during COVID, nigga.
They call COVID the great equalizer. They said this is when everything would fall on a level and the first would be last and the last would be first. So, you know, it's taken a while to get to this, but I feel like COVID is what really, when the shit really hit and started for me. Because for years, bro, like even when I think about the road, like we started the road, like you came up with the idea in 2017. You remember, and I think about it, I was so excited about it because when I had the radio show back in 2012 that turned into a podcast, it was like, damn, bro, doing this thing, I'm gonna fuck with it. So I started fucking with it, but then, you know, I was immersed in the music. Old boy Clown Boy was in jail, so you know I'm moving around just by myself as a manager. You know, he's a clown. He's a clown. He's a clown. And nigga dead in the water. That's what happens when you fuck with one of the chosen ones. Anyways, I was fucking with him, so you know I fell back.
So do you think he was blocking your blessings?
Absolutely. And I feel like he blocked his own too. I feel like in a sense, like a lot of the different artists that I fuck with, I feel like the only one that that treated me right was Uzi. You know, Uzi really was good to me when I was moving around with him. He was authentic. He was genuine. He kind of moved past what I was and what I could do. You know, I feel like if I had to pick between Jay-Z and me, I'm definitely gonna go with Jay-Z. But you know, for the time that I was around him, moving around, it was really good for my career.
That's why you fucking hate Jay.
He stole my fucking biggest artist.
Shit.
Why do you think I hate this nigga? He stole my biggest artist. He stole my fucking artist. Shout out to Rock Nation, though. Listen, I'm not mad because they do it for him shit I could have never done. You know, he definitely is in the right hands.
I knew it was something. I knew it couldn't have been him fucking one of your bitches.
I used to love him, but Uzi was my, you know, that was my youngin. You know, Rock Nation just swooped in, and it's like, yeah, my days were numbered here. This is about
podcast, Riding Out of that podcast. We finally figured it the fuck out.
Why you think I stuck my feet on that nigga couch when I went to his office and took my shoes off? Why you think I did that?
We figured it out.
It was all disrespect, dog. Like I was in there, you know.
But you know the crazy thing about that is that could be a good thing, though.
No, for sure, absolutely. I feel like it happened the way it was supposed to. You know, at the time, it served its purpose. I got to meet a lot of different people, move around with him. It was dope. You know what I mean? I enjoyed my time, but you know, there were certain artists that I fucked with, gave my all to, and you know, a lot of them are dead in the water now, blocking their blessings. You know what I mean? But I feel like me chasing that was in turn like, and then you know, like we talked about it on Dumb Ways to Die, like me living in chaos. I was living in chaos with that, like with that music industry that's fast moving. And at the time when I was moving around, you know, I'm older, you know, I'm like 40 years old at the time. So it's past the point where back in the day when I was moving around with Def Jam and all that type of stuff. And, you know, my cousin he was a big person. Wallace, he was a big person that was influential in my music career. Because when he first went to the league, or when he first got to Portland, he started a label. And so I was moving around with him with a lot of stuff, all-star games every year and shit like that. So back when I was younger, it was more appropriate. But me trying to do it as an adult, when it was something bigger for me, I'm trying to help the talent when, in sense, I am the talent. We've both been there, like, managing the talent and looking after the talent when we are the talent. So it's like when I finally got settled in 2020, I feel like 2020 was the start of everything that was supposed to happen to bring me to this place. Now, here it is, 2023. 2020 came with that episode, like literally. I feel like I was listening to like one of the first episodes that I came back on. It was like episode 20 something or 30 something. It was really a long time ago. It wasn't like when you feel like we had 140 almost now. It took a while, but it's like it wasn't going to happen overnight. And now we look up 3 years later, and it's like now we're finally understanding like what has to be cut out, what has to stay, what we have to do in our personal lives to really make these things come together. It's like, yo, nigga texting Mark Cuban now. I ain't get a hit back yet, but it's like, that's big. But then once this move happens and then certain eyes see it, and then this move happens, everything will start to come together. But it took me 43 years to understand like blocking your blessings is a real thing. Like and it was all because I thought I controlled everything. I thought regardless of what was going on, and you feel energy, you feel people's energy and like how they fuck with you or don't fuck with you. And a lot of that shit I would ignore. Like I would just, nah, it's cool. Cause I'm so used to operating in chaos. It's like, I'm just going to ignore this bad energy that's around me and just keep pushing because I know eventually to push and push and push, I'll make it. But it's a little more meticulous than that. It really is having to open up your mind, spirit, chakras, all that stuff to open yourself up for the blessings. So I'll definitely say fucking with boy, definitely block my blessings. But at the same time, it's a part of the story. It's a part of the journey. So I don't regret it, but it definitely wasn't what I was supposed to be doing. I'm not supposed to be, especially as a motherfucker who made $1 million in his 20s. My late 20s, but I spent my late 20s and early 30s being rich. So you got the ability there. So what's the issue? Like what's the hold up? What's the problem that's holding you up from this? It's really you being in your own way. So yeah, absolutely.
I would 100% say that more of my family has blocked my blessings than anything else.
In what way?
That I
in
can
what way?
Naturally think of.
In what way?
Negativity.
Okay.
Not believing, not forgiving.
Yeah.
Shit. Guilt. Self-doubt, a bunch of things, dog. But when I think about it, and not even in like not even in a short-term moment, I'm talking like long-term, blocking my blessings just because I was, either always trying to help somebody else, look out for somebody, make sure that was cool. Like anybody that knows me, that's part of my immediate family or my immediate friends. It ain't too many times that I've said no.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
I totally get where you're coming from. Absolutely.
And even when I do say no, I feel bad if I know I can.
Yeah.
And one thing that that I've read is, you being guilty of something that you shouldn't have to do for somebody or that you just don't want to do. You should never feel guilty about it. And part of that is a part of blocking your blessings. Like not even 2 days ago, I had an auntie hit me that I've never said no to. I told her no. This was like, nah, I ain't got it.
Yeah.
And I felt bad. I felt bad because I knew I had it.
Yeah.
But, at some point, it's no. You know what I'm saying? Nah. And guilt is could be a major factor of why my blessings get blocked sometimes.
Yeah, because with the guilt, it puts you in a space where you will stick to things that you don't necessarily want to stick to, or that you've outgrown, or things that, like you said, you're capable of doing, but you don't need to be doing at that particular time.
Holding on to the past.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
when I say a aunt, hit me and ask me for something, sometimes shit don't got to be like money wise, even though this time it
Yeah,
was, but
absolutely.
sometimes it just might be a favor, or a situation, or a flight hookup, or a room. Or it could be something as simple as tell me how to do something, or show me how did you send me this. All that shit is could be a block when it's persistent from the same people all the time.
Yeah. I had somebody that was very close to me that I had to cut the cord with. That like I really not was saying too much, because this is kind of a personal to the chest one that I really had to cut the cord with, because being around this person and dealing with this person for years and years and years, because I had to, it really put me in a bad space and blocked a lot of blessings for myself, where I had to really, we had a big fight and we fell out, and then next week it was right back to it, and I had to really think about it, like, yo, no, this is done. Like, you can't really remain in this type of space. You gotta let it go. And when I called them to cut the cord, they really had a fit. But it's like, yeah, you've been blocking your blessings for years dealing with this person, like trying to save this person, trying to help this person. Like, so many things have fallen apart in my life because of this one person. So yeah, like, a family definitely is a major source of blocking your blessings. You got to be able to, some people you can be open with and keep it pushing, but some people you just got to cut the cord with and just let it be what it is and not feel bad about it. Because at the end of the day, we all grown ups. You know what I mean? Like, we're all grown folks, and we all are responsible for ourselves. And I feel like at the end of the day, if it's something that you can't bring to my life, like, you got some people that things fall apart with, that you have good intentions with, but it's just some people that just don't have good intentions for you at all. So if the good intentions aren't there, it's like, bruh, you got to fucking go. I'm sorry, and I'm not sorry at the end of the day, because of the fact that we are grown. So the fact that we're grown is like, I know you understand what I'm saying to you. I know you understand the logic that's coming out my mouth. So the fact that you ignore the logic to further live in chaos is moving to this new house definitely gave me a very different perspective on a lot of things, and seeing how things move, and understanding that blessing blocking is a real fucking thing. Because living in chaos, you just kind of don't know which way is up half the time. You're moving backwards and sideways. It just is what it is. But then when you fall into like go ahead. What were you getting ready to say?
I was just gonna say, slowing down definitely open your eyes to a lot of shit
Right.
you miss out
Nas
on.
got a Nas got a song on this last album called "Slow It Down." I swear to God, when the album came out, that's the only song we'll play over and over and over and over again. I was moving so fast, and now I finally slowed down and really got to look at what life, like the life I want for myself, is. Like, moving here showed me the life and that's why I say snowflake. I was told, somebody said, a good dear friend of mine told me recently, every snowflake falls exactly where it's supposed to be. So, it was hell getting here. Like, everything started falling apart. And then, I was all in the bag, and everything just started falling apart. By the grace of God and the universe, I still landed here. You know what I mean? But it was to teach me and show me, like, this is for you, but you need to start moving this certain way. So that's when all these dead branches off the trees, I started picking them off, and started really revitalizing myself back to life. Cause I was dead in the water when I moved to this bitch. It was crazy. Like, I would have never thought in a million years I'd have went through what I went through. But
And you moving you moving could have changed your blessings also. Like,
it did. It did.
locations can block your blessings. Like, you could be at a certain place, and it just that situation of how you fucked up. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like,
Like, me
that's
doing business in the ghetto in chaos for years and years and years was blocking my blessings. Although I made a shitload of money, drove
niggas said the
every
ghetto.
expensive car.
This nigga
No,
said the
listen,
ghetto.
because everything's energy, man. Like, you operate in chaotic energy. That chaos it surrounds your life, and it
But you
kind
got
of
to know
gets
how to
you.
control it too, dog.
True,
Yeah,
true. That's
if you know
very
how to
true.
control
Very true.
chaos, and it just depends on what type of situation you in. But sometimes control chaos is cool too. You just got to know how to
But
control it.
but
But
even with,
your
like,
chaos was different.
But my kid, and I'll say this, like I feel like at the young age, I was more prone to control it and be able to move the way I was moving back then. But then it's like after everything happened, you remember I moved to Cali for a while and all that stuff. But coming back, I tried to come back to it. It was like I was trying to come back to that old thing and get the same thunder that I got when I was younger. And it was like I couldn't control this chaos like I used to anymore. But I
Cause you
wouldn't
was
give it up.
old, nigga. You was
Yeah.
old. See, once
That's
again,
right.
that was pride. You thought you was
Yeah,
still a young
absolutely.
nigga,
Absolutely.
and you thought you could get
Absolutely.
back in that young world and do the same things you was
Absolutely.
doing when you was young, and you couldn't. That's a
I,
pride
w-
thing.
I wasn't embracing my older age. Like even with the music shit, it was like I'm at the club every night. I'm going into my late 30s at the club, and I'm at this party and this backstage at this concert, and knowing within myself, like I don't really even want to do this shit no more. But I'm chasing this money. I'm trying to put these coins back together. So it's like, yo, this is the only way I know. Not knowing that if I let this go, that something so much greater is waiting for me. But it's like, no, fuck that. This is what I'm used to. I'm comfortable with this shit right here.
Yeah,
So
and
it's
it's
being comfortable
definitely
with
it's definitely a hard thing being
it. It is.
comfortable doing something and knowing what you're gonna get out of that situation, but being older and having to make the decision whether to let it go or
Yeah,
keep fucking with it. Because I'm 100% in that situation right now.
yeah.
Like, do you still do it because you know what comes out of it, or do you still do it because you want to do it, or you like, I'm too old for this shit and this shit is boring, and I know the same. I know now. I know ways to do the same exact thing without having to
Without
do none
moving
of that
muscle.
shit. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
without having to
saying?
move a muscle.
And but
Without
once again, like I said, what happens is your guilt kicks in because you're like, damn, I know I still, nigga, I can still run around with the, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? It's a crazy game, but who knows? Because another blessing could be in one of those situations. So you got to be real. You got to keep your eyes open, slow down, and make sure that ain't no negativity. Your pride ain't in the way. You ain't holding on to nothing in the past. You ain't guilty of shit. You ain't guilt tripping, and you believe in what's going on.
yeah. And I feel like even with situations with people and things of that nature, you know, it's not always the people that's bad. It's really the energy that's bad. So if people can really move out of the energy and spaces that they're in, you know what I mean? Like I think about like my mother, and I didn't have the greatest childhood growing up. And I had to come to terms with the fact that my mom was in a situation where she wasn't taught right and blocked a lot of her own blessings and things of that nature. But still, she didn't know any better. So me being able to realize it and get to a place where like now we're breaking generational curses, because these are all tied to generational curses when you think about black and blessings, especially in our community. Because like me moving here and being around all these Jewish people, it's like they just move different. It's just a very different thing as far as family goes. Even like when you think about Spanish people or Asian people, it's just a very different thing. Not to say that they don't have issues and problems, but the way that they unite as families and move around and support each other is a very different thing. So these are things that we can kind of instill in our children and change the trajectory of like a family dynamic that we've had going on for decades, that have been like, a lot of our family members we're the products of underachievement. And I had a pretty damn successful grandfather who could have created a dynasty for us that didn't quite come to fruition. It left me with a well of knowledge to be able to do things once I got my head right. And I feel like I've been, at this point been appointed, I'll say, to use the lack of a better term, to kind of switch the trajectory of my last name and my bloodline. So it gets so much bigger than just yourself. So you blocking your blessings could really even turn into you blocking your kids and blocking, this shit gets to be generational. You know what I mean? Like it gets to be, it flows with every fucking body, because then you look at like the way some of these people move out here, and it's like, yo, their kids be babies in elementary school or high school, and it's like these kids are set. regardless of what they got going on, and we all have free will, so you can always fuck it up. You got people who get strung out on drugs. I'm not trying to say that these people just live a perfect existence, but the fact that you're able to be a child and not be treated like an adult as a child means everything. You know what I mean? It means everything to your future. It means everything to your actual life as a child, all of that stuff. So being able to put your children in those type of spaces and create that type of mindset takes these generational curses off your actual family, which is the biggest blessing blocking you can have. It's something that's generational, something that came before you even got to this plane, this dimension, this earth. So this shit gets deep. It gets deep.
Yeah. I'm still breaking generational curses, so but I also feel like, I'm not going to blame my blessings being blocked on my curses because of the shit that I know my great-grandparents and even my grandparents had to go through. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have proper housing, and they wasn't, they didn't have the situations that other races had to where it was a good start. And with me with me knowing all that, I just go to, my direct generation, me, dad, mom, and I look at the patterns. Okay. And it's definitely been some fucked up situations. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
But it's my
it plays
job.
A part. Yeah. It plays a part. Yeah, I get you with not blaming, but it plays a part. It does.
Yeah, but
it does.
But even us using that as an excuse goes back to being guilty, holding on to the past, and being unforgiving of those things. Because even like I thought about this after we had our conversation, I was like, damn, I can't blame these motherfuckers for this shit or these people for this, because if I am, I'm low-key still blocking my blessings. Like I have to forgive these motherfuckers for this shit, and I can't feel bad about it, because if I don't, I'm still in the same place, and whatever's gonna come to me ain't gonna come, because I'm still fixed on, you know what I'm saying?
That's where I was going with that about my mom. I was saying like she really was never put in a position with, her maybe blocking her blessings because of what she came from and the things she went through. That now that I'm old enough, it's like regardless of what my mom didn't give me, or her not being able to properly love me because she didn't even know how to do it. Like I'm at the point where it's like I can't be mad at her. All I can do is use it. I love my mom to death. All I can do is use it to move and propel myself forward. And like even to this day, like me and my mom don't really have like the best relationship when it comes to talking about things.
Ditto.
I try to talk to her about, I'm trying to talk about things, but she ain't cracking. She gets frustrated, and it's like I can't be mad.
The craziest meme I seen is I saw a girl. She posted. She said, "Dear Black parents, it's all right for your kids to know more than you in this time of day.
Yeah.
Let's stop. Real. Let's stop with the personal ego. Let's stop with the bullshit and the generational curses. Like, it's okay for your kid to be smarter than you. They should be, especially in this time of day." She was like, let them talk, let them speak. You don't know everything. This a whole nother world from what you came from.
Yeah, my mom don't leave the fucking house and swear up and down she know more than me. It'd be like, Mom, come on, you don't be out here. Like, you don't even come outside.
I'm not even. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even arguing with somebody that I know more than.
Yeah.
Like we're not even gonna have that discussion. Yeah, you got it. You know. Yeah, so and so did that. The Earth is that way. Yeah, the moon's. Yeah, okay. I'm not even entertaining that. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, I'll be in the market. I go to the market for my mom on Sundays. I'll be in the market and like they won't have something that she wants, I'll call her and be like, Mom, they don't have it. Do you want something to replace it? She's like literally arguing me down, like, Jason, it's in there. I'm like, yo, this is the craziest shit ever, man. She's really sitting on the couch at home telling me what's in the market that I'm in right now. Like,
but this what you got to think about. This what you got to think about, dog. At least you're getting those calls.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? It's some people that never get those calls that want them. Yeah. And there's some people that's, that will want those calls from their parents and they gone, so they can't get them. You feel me? There's a lot of people that'll be like, damn, I wish my mom did hit me and I was going to get going to shop for and shit like that.
Shop for
but they don't have that relationship. You feel me? So it just depends on how you look at shit. Yeah. I'd rather have that than,
I for sure appreciate her, but it is, like, Mom, come on. Like,
you gotta
give your son some credit. Yeah, give your son some credit. I'm 43 years old. I didn't make it here by being a dumbass. Like, trust me, I know what I'm talking about sometimes.
And from talking to from talking to a lot of my friends, dog, what I noticed is a lot of my friends tell me the same thing, that they don't really get into it with their mom about. I mean, they fathers with shit. It usually be them getting into it with their moms. Yeah. And I was like, damn. And I said, was your father in your life? Like, was both of them in the home? And every answer was no. I said, well, that's why. Your mom wear the pants and the motherfucking and the bras, nigga.
But even that, you got to think about, even that mindset puts a strain on a lot of Black mothers, like, because they got to play so much of a role for so long and be so responsible for so much. Even that's a thing that's like, Mom never had a good man, you know what I mean? So even from that standpoint, it's like, how do you really know when you got to learn from a woman who don't necessarily understand how to give you that other side of it? So it's like it's like she can be soft with me, but at the same time, she still got that hard side because she had to have that, it was me and my brother, and then my sister came, but me and my brother were boys. So it's like, how do I really tame these little motherfuckers? I gotta fuck them up. I gotta be hard. You know what I mean? But most, I look at my sister. My sister is like, my sister has a husband, so my sister knows how to be gentle with it. Where my brother-in-law, he could crack a face, and my nephew a straight right. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, to have that balance is a major thing as well. You know what I mean? So having both parents and all of that stuff definitely gives you a very different perspective, and has you more prone to not block your blessings, because you understand. It's funny, going through this journey, I had to finally learn that I have both masculine and feminine energy. I'm a nigga that just rolled into masculine my whole fucking life, not giving a fuck about shit, just being hard. But it's like two sides to every coin, and you gotta be able to have flex, to be able to live in both of them, to have things flow to you properly. Blocking blessings go so deep, man. This shit gets crazy. Yeah. It goes deep as shit.
It goes deep as shit, and it can go small as shit. Pause. Super duper pauses. A blessing could be a big thing, and it could be a little thing, and sometimes blessings take a little bit longer than expected. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just catching blessings that I manifested in 2020.
Yeah, crazy.
You know what I'm saying? So it just and you got to make sure you really want your blessings, and you got to do everything in your right power to make sure them shits happen. You can't say, you know what I'm saying? I want to be blessed with a nice house so I can take care of my family, but you fucking off on your girl. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, it don't work like that. And that's just work in that. And that's just my opinion.
But they always say God ain't gonna bless no mess.
Yeah.
That's absolutely right. I had to learn that hard lesson. That's a hard lesson to learn. You gotta learn it. You can't be messy and think that shit's gonna come to you.
Exactly. Nah, nigga, I want you to bless me. Lord, please give me this Benz. I've been manifesting it. My bless me. Your license suspended. You fucking driving crazy. Yeah. Like my nigga, if you want it, you got to make sure everything in order, so when it comes, you ready for it. If not, and who give a fuck if you ain't got that 900 to get your shit unsuspended at the moment, because right now you ain't got no whip. Nigga, get
Yeah.
that money up. And who give a fuck if you ain't got a car? As long as you got a license now. So once that license hit, now your whole situation changed, and there's other opportunities that's gonna happen because you got the. You know what I'm saying? Like this shit goes crazy. Like I've been in situations, dog. Before we move on, I've been in situations where it'll be some petty shit like, yo, you got a ticket for $200. And I'd be like, I'm not paying that fucking ticket. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, I and it'll be a petty ticket, like a headlight out that I didn't pay 5 years ago. Like some weird shit, you know what I'm saying? And then I'm like, I ain't paying that shit. Fuck that ticket, blah, blah, blah. Then what happens? That ticket stacks to 500. You know what I'm saying?
And then it just no doubt.
Then that ticket turns into a warrant.
No doubt.
Now 5 years later.
Yeah.
Now that ticket turns into a suspended license.
Yeah.
But you didn't forgot all about the ticket.
Yeah.
Now you get pulled over. Now they want to take your ass to jail.
Yeah. Now you, but it's all a mess you done caused. Like you could have been the one that deaded all this shit right from the gun bust, but
from the gun bust. Now you ain't got a car. Now you ain't got a car because you're suspended. Now you can't drive because you're suspended. Now you got to take a class. You know what I'm saying? Just silly shit.
Yeah. So I wanted to go through 5 major things that I feel like are the biggest blessing blockers, and we'll just touch on them real briefly before we conclude. But like I feel like these are some of the major contributors to blessing blockers. So the first one we're gonna start with is self-doubt. I feel like self-doubt is the biggest thing, and I feel like I was like as dope as I've been through life, I feel like my biggest thing was doubting myself through the whole journey. Was like I've actually saw myself turn water into wine and since, and still would doubt myself before, during, and after. Like it's no way I can do this. Do it and still be doubting it after I do it. So I feel like self-doubt is one of the biggest ones that you could have as far as a blessing blocker. You want to touch on that a little bit?
Absolutely. Definitely for me. Like I said, my whole stay in New York, and mind you, I've lived in California for a minute, Utah for a minute, but my trip to New York was a self-doubt. When I stayed in New York, it was a self-doubt thing because it was so far away. I knew I couldn't call nobody if I needed them. I couldn't call nobody to help me do shit in New York.
Yeah.
For even the minimal things, I knew I couldn't. I didn't have no backup. So that self-doubt of me moving to New York was crazy. But I did it, and it was one of the best things I ever did in my life.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to go to the next one. The next one is the fear of failure. And that has been a big motherfucking blessing blocker in my life. Like I just a long time be like, yo, this shit's, it goes back to self-doubt, you know, and then, you know, with self-doubt, you don't want to fail. So with not wanting to fail, you don't. It's crazy how the major 5 kind of all tie into each other, because then procrastination is another one. It's actually my next one. And it's like the fear of failure turns you into a procrastinator. Now you're always putting yourself off and giving yourself an excuse as to why you're not going to move forward. What you think about that?
Me personally, man, I ain't never had something go on that I felt like I was gonna fail at. More, mine was in a situation where I felt like I was gonna fail for other people.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
Personally, nah. Like that wasn't one of my things. If somebody else needed me and I couldn't come through for them, I felt like I failed in that way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh
I
damn,
got you.
they needed me to fly out to help them with it and I couldn't do it. Fuck.
Yeah.
Even though that's kind of the same thing. So
I feel like I get what you're saying, because I feel like regardless of what space I've been in life, I've always known that I would be okay. But at the same time, like to think about individual things, I definitely looked at things like, yo, this shit's never gonna work. Like
Yeah.
that self doubt shit. Like it
And
definitely,
unbelief. Yeah. Your unbelief
yeah,
shit.
and it makes you pause. Like it's like you come up with it. It's a great idea, but then that self doubt starts to kick in, and that fear of failing kicks in, and it's like, man, I ain't doing this shit, or I'm gonna do it when I can. Like it turns you into feeling like you need things to do things. Like if you feel like you need to have this in line to make this and this happen. And it's
Oh,
like, no, just
now
go.
see, that's a key word you just said. You feel like you need things for this to happen.
Yeah, yeah,
Now,
yeah.
saying that,
Okay.
there's definitely been things where where I felt like, let me clear that up.
You felt like, yeah, you felt
I
like,
felt like I needed people to help me do shit.
yeah,
And when the help didn't come, I have definitely felt like, damn, I ain't gonna be able to do this by myself.
yeah.
And there's been points to where, I've told people ideas or situations or just personal shit that I needed help with. And, when they didn't help, I was like, ain't no way I could do this shit by myself. And guess what?
And then what happens? You always wind up finding a way to do it.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that we have self doubt, even in the senses that we accomplish what we set out to do. You know what I mean? Like, what's one of the craziest stories about self doubt that I was actually talking about this a little earlier. Michael Jackson in 1983, when he first debuted the moonwalk, he doubted that he would like perfect it or make it happen, right? So it's like for us watching it, it was the most amazing shit that we ever saw. But he doubted it, did it, and when you think about like him now doing the moon, I'm saying now, like he ain't been going for 10 years, but you think about him like in his later life doing it and how smooth it looked and how confident he was in it. But to us, the first time looked so amazing, but he didn't have the confidence. And then after, all he kept thinking about was how he talked about how after he finished his performance, with the whole crowd roaring and all of us at home seeing it and going crazy, he thought he messed it up. Even the greatest of us have that. You know what I mean? Like have that. Yo, Jay-Z tells the story about how he had to go after DMX on the Hard Knock Life tour and how he doubted his stage show because of how great DMX shit was. You know what I mean? So it's like even the greatest of us, like us that move mountains and us that just do, the greatest things, we all deal with it. Like to hear Michael Jackson tell that story was like, wow, because all I remember was him moonwalking, and it was like the most amazing shit I ever seen in my life. You know what I mean?
And on a lighter note, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, your blessing could be your homeboy pulling up on you and saying, hey, man, I got this business decision. I want you to fuck with it, dog. All I need you to do is ride with your boy, and we're going to get it someday, somehow, nigga. But I need you to be in right now.
Yeah.
And you decide you don't want to fuck with it. You could have blocked your blessing.
Yeah, you want to half-ass it. You got that's. I think that's one of the biggest proponents to seeing your blessings through is having vision. Like when I came back to the road, all I had was vision. You know what I mean? I understood that we wasn't gonna get rich tomorrow and shit like that. And there was a billion other podcasts at the time in the space with people trying to do it, and it's like, yo, understanding what.
Wait. Let's be clear. 2017, there wasn't a billion.
It wasn't a billion.
It wasn't a billion.
Right.
Let's be clear.
It wasn't a billion.
Let's be clear.
It wasn't a billion. But I'm talking about when I came back.
Hold on.
In 2020, though, when I came back, everybody was trying to do a podcast.
Let me get this flex off. Let me get this flex off real quick. You're right. But in 2017, I swear to God, I didn't know anybody personally that had a podcast.
Well, that's when it really started to, like, I always say, because, I am always going to flex about having the first podcast back in 2012, but I really say like around 2017, 2018 is when it started becoming a thing. Not necessarily that everybody was doing it, but it started becoming a thing, and you were definitely ahead of that curve. But like when 2020 hit, that's when, because nobody had nothing to do. So everybody started talking. Everybody, you think about Tory Lanez doing the radio show he was doing, and like everything turned quarantine radio, Gilly and them. Like it's crazy because Gilly was one of my guests on the radio show back in the day. And then when I had my
find that audio. We gotta find that audio, nigga.
We definitely gotta
Drop
find
it.
the audio. We got pictures from it, but we definitely gotta find the audio from that. It's somewhere on the internet. I know it is because I actually interviewed Spade when he had did 10 years in jail. He was getting ready to come out of jail. I was the first person to interview him through his whole 10-year stretch, and his case was crazy in the city. So I was the first person to actually give Spade a platform to talk on. And Gilly came to the rail station. He had a song at the time called Chicken Man. Oh my god, that song was funny as shit. He was hype as fuck in the studio playing. We played that joint like 3 or 4 times. It was hilarious. That was a great show with Gilly. Shout out to Gilly.
I said,
But
Chicken Man.
Chicken Man, never forget it. Chicken Man. He had this song called Chicken Man.
Oh shit.
Gilly boy, he's hilarious. But in the studio in HDE, shout out to my bro Pop. That's where like the idea for actually no, like I'm even taking back to when we was in the 444 building and me and my man Sink had our studio. Sink was like a person that was on that podcast. Shit. Sink was like one of the first people to tell Gilly to start a podcast. Like on some real shit. So that idea was birthed a long time before it actually happened. This was when Wallow was still locked up. This was before he even came home. So then when he came home and we had HDE studios, that's when it started to really move. You know, that's where the viral video came from of us in the studio that everybody, tags me back to and all that stuff.
Think about this. If Gilly would have did that podcast then, he would have blocked his blessing.
Yeah, he would have. Definitely. He definitely would have. So, but it everything lined up at the right time, and then look at him now. I mean, even when you think about Mason Cameron, they blocked their blessings for years and years and years, and finally
that's a major case of a blossom being black.
Yo, like one of the
culture,
craziest cases.
For the culture, that's the craziest
cases. Yeah. That's one of the craziest cases of blocking their blessings. Look at them now.
And back to what we've been saying this whole pod is that, you know what I'm saying? You're blocking, you could be blocking your blessings because you're not forgiven. You know what I'm saying? And holding on to the past. Those are major keys in blocking your blessings. Not forgiving and holding on to the past. And both of them was mad at each other. And guess what?
And they probably thought that they would never be cool again, and look what happened.
I mean, I got a friend right now, dog, that, you know what I'm saying? I've been thinking about real tough lately. I don't know why. I don't know, I don't know the reason why, but I just been thinking about that person. I'm like, damn, should I reach out? You know what I'm saying? I'm older now. Sometimes niggas do bitch shit. It wasn't nothing to where, we'd have to fight or box and nothing like that. It was some little petty shit. But, sometimes you gotta forgive.
Yeah.
And let go. Because what if that's one of my blessings being blocked? Because,
Yeah.
And this was a very, very, very close friend of mine that we got into it over some dumb shit. Maybe I'll reach out and let y'all know what happened next pod.
Well, here go 2 more. We got 2 more to go. Comparison, big blessing blocker, which goes into us feeling like we gotta. I ain't ready yet because in social media is a big proponent to comparison. Like, cause you scrolling and you seeing everybody looking lit.
Oh yeah. And
you don't know the insides of it, but everybody looking lit, so you feel like shit. Like I can't compare with that right now. I got to get my weight up, so it makes you procrastinate. It's funny how they all go together. Like these 5 major proponents of blessing blocking all go together. But I can't front as much confidence as JMOODY got or has had. I've definitely seen some things that make me say, "Well, let me sit my ass down for a bit." For sure. Absolutely. I'll admit it. I've definitely been in that boat plenty of times. Comparing myself to people. Go ahead.
Social media wise, I haven't, but I've definitely seen it in front of my face.
Yeah.
Like in front of my face, like, oh, whoa. I thought I was a cool nigga. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it's kind of crazy when you pull up to the spot and you and your, I think I was driving at the time a Buick, and then Irv pull up in a fucking Bentley, and it's like, god damn, in a drop. This nigga pulled up in the drop, like, god damn.
So imagine a chick doing it.
Yeah. Wow.
Imagine a chick doing it. Whoa.
That should That shit'll fuck your night all up. You thought you was about to have the night of your life, and it's like, God damn it.
Hold on,
Nah, for sure.
But you're going out on a date with this person, and and you think you're that nigga in the situation, and they pull up.
You talking about are you talking about the black card situation? Are you talking about the rush card situation? Are you talking about the rush card? Oh my God, yo.
Woo.
He put you on your ass that night, dog. It ain't no black bitch. That's a rush card, nigga. What the fuck?
Yeah. And even back then, me fronting like I had it and I didn't was me blocking my blessings.
No, for sure. I've definitely fronted a lot through life. Like I ain't gonna say a lot, but I fronted enough.
We all have.
We all have. Yeah, I mean, it's a part of it.
As long as you ain't over 30 fronting, it's cool. Yeah, the advice I get to young niggas, bro, if you don't love her, do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Front all you want. You know what I'm saying? Kick it. Make sure you got some good, solid people around you. Get you a good, solid chick and start saving your bread.
Yeah.
After that, shit easy.
At the end of the day, that's
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this.
I was gonna say real quick. That's why I'm DH Gate Boy. You don't get it fucked up if you want. I ain't fronting for none of you niggas. I'm like Charleston White with DH Gate. Kiss my ass. I'm about to get these motherfucking Dior's. Get out my goddamn face.
Let me ask you this. About? It's a good interview question too.
Okay.
What would you tell yourself in your prime right now, knowing what you know now?
Get out that strip club. Get out that strip club. That's where I blew a lot of my money. And understand that, because in my prime, I thought my prime was going to be, Davis, I was 31 thinking I won life. I thought it would just always be that. You know what I mean? And so I was like, and I'll say this, I don't feel like I hit my prime yet. I just feel like that was a good spot. I feel like really men don't hit their prime until they're in their 40s. And they really, because the prime comes with the education piece as well. It's not just about the money. I don't feel like little baby's in his prime. I feel like he's just making money right now. Like that's it.
Just look at Jay-Z. Think about
Jay-Z's in his prime. He's in his prime now. Like he wasn't in his prime when he was rapping. Nas is in his prime now.
He probably thought he was.
But that's what I'm saying. Like when I was 28, 29, 30, I thought I was on top of the world. And this is how it's going to be. I'm gonna be fucking these bitches for the rest of my life. Me and my niggas just gonna be broke. I really thought that. And I let that carry me through even not being in that space anymore. Like I felt like, I'm gonna get back to that. Like motherfuckers kill themselves trying to chase that feeling because they think it's the prime. But I would tell myself, this ain't it. Things are gonna change. Like, and the crazy part is like, even getting older, I felt the change and still tried to fight it. Like I could really identify feeling like things were changing. And like, no, I gotta still be on this type shit. For sure. So I would tell myself like, be like don't let your ego drive you to crash. Like don't let your ego take you down the wrong road. That's what I would tell myself in my prime. Like I would, or in that space that I thought was my prime. I would tell myself, be careful with your ego. Be smart and astute with your money. And I feel like my prime is that video I sent you of the niggas doing bottle wars. Like I feel like I was to a certain extent not that crazy, because if I'm buying liquor at an expensive price, I'm drinking it. But like I watched that, like, I wish I could just talk to these young fellas, because they gotta be young. I hope these is not niggas our age doing that. That's disgusting if it is. Even to a certain extent into your 30s is disgusting. So I'm hoping all these niggas is in their 20s doing that.
Maybe they just don't like to drink. Maybe they just don't like to drink.
Yeah, but like
tax write-off, nigga. That's a business meeting. Tax write-off, nigga.
Yeah, that's true. That's bad. That's sexy red bad. That's all I'm gonna say. That's sexy red bad. I'm not doing that. That's craziness.
So I would tell myself. Let me get mine off real quick. I would tell myself, save your money.
Yeah.
get your credit right,
Yeah.
and make sure you spend as much time with your loved ones as humanly possible.
Yeah. That's real.
Period, point blank. Because when I think back on shit, those are the one things I always say. Damn, if I would have saved, nigga, and if I wouldn't have never, and if my those three things, right now would change my life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, absolutely.
And for the listeners, you know what I'm saying? We didn't know we was gonna talk about blocking your blessings. So if it sound like we all over the place, and that's just because we some real niggas just having a conversation.
That's it. That's what the road is. It's about being real. Like, it's about being yourself at the core. That's what we promote here. So, you know.
And this is a conversation we would have with each other, even if we wasn't on the pod. So
absolutely. So the last one, and it really ties everything together. The biggest blessing blocker is negativity. And it's the biggest blessing blocker is negativity. You know, negativity comes in all shapes, forms, and fashions. It comes in your mindset. It comes in family. It comes in so-called friends. All kinds of things could be negative. And as long as you're surrounding yourself with negative energy, as long as that negative energy is flowing in, you're blocking your blessings. Because you're moving in a cycle that's counterproductive to you. It's as simple as what you mentioned about the license. You know what I mean? Like that type of stuff. It's like you want good things, but there's negative things that are still in the equation. So it's like you gotta fix this shit. You have to make these things right for things to flow properly. So negativity.
And that's going off of you being negative towards situations also.
Absolutely.
Like not just people being negative towards you. That's you having a negative mindset. You know, it's almost like the homeboy you bring around, and every time you take the nigga somewhere, he got a bad vibe, bad energy. So the whole night you dealing with him and him not getting into a fight and him being ready to go. That's that negativity.
Yeah, and people that are miserable, you having them around you and you taking advice from them and shit like that. Negativity.
Yeah, I keep them niggas away. I only use them niggas when it's time to shoot at niggas. Other than that, you niggas can't go nowhere with me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, go get your 5 negative niggas and y'all hang out together. You know what I'm saying? And I it's crazy because he'll tell you too. You know, I got a close friend that's like just an outwardly negative nigga, and not even in a bad way. It's just any one thing to set this nigga off. And you know, I tell him all the time. I tell him all the time. I'm like, dog. You know, when you put that energy out, we gonna get it back. So if we out at a restaurant. We at a restaurant, of course they gonna fuck our food up. Look at your energy. Even if they don't do it on purpose, they nervous and they feel that shit. So they just overthinking situations. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or if we out at a movie theater and somebody accidentally bump you.
Yeah, you got to be able to let that. I was in a situation, I can't even front, like about a week ago. I went to this restaurant around the corner from me. It's a little Chinese spot that I like to eat at from time to time. I went there to grab something to eat. So, you know, I called my order in, and, you know, you go, you pick your food up and pay for it. So it was a lady in there, and it's crazy. The whole situation was kind of crazy how it unfolded. But when I go in, the lady's in there, she's standing at the front, you know, at the counter. I walk in and I got my hat on. I got my hat like on backwards but turned to the side. So when I walked in, you know, I walk onto the right side of her so she can't really see my hat. Because I really feel like this is the reason why she switched so fast. But in the lady at the counter, she's taking an order on the phone. So once she gets off the phone, mind you, I walk in, I don't say a word to nobody. I'm just waiting in line. You know, I understand that she was there first. Mm-hmm. So I came in after her. And like, so when I came, when the lady got off the phone, she looked at the lady and she said, you know, are you ready to order? And so then the lady looked at me and she said, well, are you just picking up? And I said, yeah, I'm just picking up some food. She said, well, you can take care of him first. So then I came to the left side of her. And of course, I got on my Make America Great Again hat. You know, I'm
Hmm.
just being an asshole, wearing my red hat in the neighborhood, whatever. But whatever. And this is the only thing I can use to explain how this lady went from being like so courteous to being a bitch. Like when I go to pay for the food, I'm gonna pay with the phone. So I go get ready to click the phone, and she was like, "Well, I didn't know he had to pay for his food." It was like, yo, you went from positive to negative so fast, and this is something I have to work on, but it brought the negativity out of me like instantly. Like I instantly just got. First, I'm like, yo, but lady, you just fucking said to me, go ahead. Like I didn't say, I would have never said two fucking words to you had you just minded your fucking business and left me where I was at. You could have ordered the whole fucking menu and I wouldn't have said nothing. I would have just waited. Like the
Hmm.
fact that you actually said to me, you go ahead. And it's like when I got to the other side of her, I feel like she saw my hat. And I feel like that's what might have changed her demeanor. But it was like the bigger point I'm making is like negativity begets negativity. Even though I'm trying to curve myself from giving the negativity back to people that give it to me. But it was like a whole little thing today. I was kind of on one. And I definitely gave her that energy that she gave me back. She was courteous at first. Everything was cool. When she gave me that, I thank you. I said thank you, all that shit. But as soon as she got in her bag, and it took 2 seconds, I shot it all right back to her. So you make a great point. Like you can't go around giving that negativity out thinking that shit won't come back like a boomerang because it absolutely will.
Hmm.
Absolutely will. And there's different levels of it coming back to you. So you just got to be very careful. It's people that already are going to have negativity, period. So then when you kind of pushing the buttons of it, I could have had the worst day in the world and been ready to smack the lady in her face. You know what I mean? Like I'm not that type of person, but what if I was? So you just got to watch yourself and your surroundings and be able to read the room in a way that you don't put yourself in a bad situation or position just because you're thinking with the wrong part of your brain at that particular time. So
Yeah.
yeah, negativity is a blessing blocker.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I need all
So
my blessings in 2023 going into 2024. I'm too old to be bullshitting.
every single last one of them, man. Every single last one of them. So
Hopefully, my girl didn't bless me with some motherfucking food.
yeah, it's about that time. It's about that time.
The weather out here is crazy right now. It looked last week when it was claiming we was gonna have a tornado.
It's getting cool here now. Like it's the mornings are like the weather is really, this is my favorite season of fall. Like when you can, get dressed and be real nice and don't gotta worry about sweating your fucking clothes out and shit like that. So I'm welcoming to it. So I'm welcoming to the weather and the blessings that are coming in fall. But I'm gonna say this real quick. Y'all, it's time to stop blocking y'all shit. Leave that self doubt, that failure, fear of failure rather, that comparison and procrastination, negativity, leave it all behind you. Leave all that shit behind you because all of it, and when you think about it, all they are obstacles that you got to get over. At the end of the day, new levels, new devils, but as long as you can keep those five major things where they need to be, which is out of your space, blessings will come. You just got to move in that space and move in that energy. And as long as you do that, you'll ascend. You'll keep ascending. Get your shit right.
Yeah,
That's
niggas.
all I got to say about it, man. This was a good episode, man. Anything you want to end on?
None. Just these mountains looking so nice right now. Oh man,
Yeah,
mountain
blessings,
mountain
blessings, bro.
views.
Blessings, bro. Blessings.
I gotta send you this view, nigga.
Yeah, I can't wait to come to the crib. We gonna be like Uncle Rico and Kit. We gonna be sitting out on your front porch eating steaks. I'm be like, I bet you I can throw a football over them mountains. I'm
Nigga,
gonna be on my
if,
Napoleon Dynamite, yo.
you could throw a football over these motherfucking mountains, nigga, we gotta get you in the Columbine immediately.
I bet you I can throw a football over them mountains. Yeah, man, I can't wait to get out there, check the fucking mountains out, man.
Yes,
But
sir. Guest room already ready. You know what I'm saying? And it's a bar in walking distance, nigga.
yeah, and when
Oh,
you
nigga,
come back
shit.
out here, it's a million bars of walking distance. So it's been a rough and tough year, but I feel like we finally found our stride, and we really ready to take off now. So shout out to us, shout out to the road, shout out to Burgundy, man. Shout out to her. Just wanted to say that real quick. Shout out to Berg, man, for sure.
Shout out to my view.
Yeah, shout out to the mountains.
Like the clouds going over the mountains right now. Shit kind of crazy. I wonder if that's where they got the aliens at and shit. But that's another episode. Man, take us out this motherfucker.
Real quick, I'm about to take us out this motherfucker. It's the Road Podcast, and we got one thing to motherfucking say.
Fuck women, get it. Fuck women, get it.
Hey,
Bitch, don't block your blessings.
don't block them.
Block your blessings. Bitch, don't
Hey, niggas don't block your blessings either.
Don't trash. Block boy trash.
I'm done blocking my blessings. We out this bitch.
Stain dash, neck break dance, blue miss hookah, nice game, don't y'all bust it open, call back to over, I'm a dime.